not great early in the season. I'm watching Sean Payton, the coach, and Bo Nix, and I can see what they're trying to do. I can see the plan. And not every business is a rocket ship. Some businesses take a while. Some teams take a while. But can I identify like a plan? We need to have a hard conversation. I don't think this coaching staff is going to work with Caleb Williams. They have no run game at all. Like none. I can't see the plan. It's bad backyard football. The offensive line has regressed. I mean, they faced a team yesterday in Indianapolis that doesn't defend the run, and they still couldn't run. Fewest yards per play in the NFL. And this is not a team without talent. They had a young and improving O-line last year. Not anymore. They had a semblance of a run game, I thought, last year. Not anymore. They had Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. They got DJ Moore. They got players. They're last in everything that matters or next to last. For our TV audience, sorry, radio audience, look at the screen. I mean, DeAndre Swift has had 37 carries. One has been for a first down. I mean, once again, I see a defensive coach and a defensive culture not being able to figure out how to fix a quarterback. And Caleb Williams came into this league. We talked about it. He could be erratic. He was an incredible playmaker. But he was going to need somebody like Andy Reid with Mahomes early to get him back into the fairway. Or what Kevin O'Connell is doing with Sam Darnold, take away the reckless. And that's the bigger problem, perhaps, for Chicago. Minnesota is gifted offensively and young. Green Bay's got a great coach, gifted offensively and young. Detroit's not as young. Many of their players are now moving into their prime. But Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay are excellent offensive teams. Not all great defensively, excellent offensively. And I would say two of them have great coaches. I think Kevin O'Connell and Matt LaFleur pass the test, flying colors. I think Dan Campbell is a great culture builder. I don't know if I trust him situationally, but he's a good coach. Okay, so forget for a second the Caleb Williams stuff. You got the one defensive coach in that division. You can't win games in this division going forward scoring 20 points a game, 23. You got to get into the 28s. This is now the best offensive division in football. Take the Bears out of it. The other three teams could put an offensive Pro Bowl team together. Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay, and their best players are mostly young and getting better. There are no old guys in this league. The tackles, the O-line for Detroit, the young receivers, tight ends for Green Bay, Minnesota, Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, Sam Darnold's playing out of his mind. Like MVP stuff isn't a snarky tweet. He may be. So Chicago's got major issues here. Their touchdown at the end is garbage. They scored 9 real points. They can't run. There's no plan. What am I watching? They got to get him an offensive guru. And the downside, if you fire a coach mid-season and bring in an interim coach, be very, very careful about that. Because if the interim wins like 4 games in a row, often in interims, the substitute teacher, everybody's on their best behavior and great energy and sucking up to the teacher and bringing produce every morning. Here, Mrs. Jones, here's your 13th apple in 9 days. And then the interim coach isn't really a head coach. It was all about energy and him trying to impress the new person in the room, and you're stuck with an interim coach for 4 years. So you may have to just stick with Eberflus. But this isn't working. They bring in a new OC. The O-line's, I thought it was promising. It's awful. The run game's got DeAndre Swift. I mean, the Colts team, by the way, the Colts team had a quarterback that completed 50% of his throws, no touchdowns, 2 picks, can't hit a swing pass to save his life. They didn't have DeForest Buckner, and they won. And they controlled large chunks of the game. Like, this isn't working. And I'm not unrealistic. I watched Denver, and I'm like, oh, I see the plan. Jaden Daniels, oh, I see kind of what they're doing here. I'm giving guys patience. But I don't even know what I'm looking at. Here's Caleb after.
I threw it 52 times. Jeez. I do whatever team needs, you know what I mean? And so if it's 50 times, it's 50 times. I can't have the 2 turnovers with those 50 attempts. If it comes down to being 50 attempts and us slinging the ball around, if it comes down to being, 10 attempts, it's whatever team needs to get the win. We'll keep slinging it. We'll keep working on run game. We'll keep getting better definitely as an offense. We're going to get this thing going here soon.
Oh, by the way, one of the best quarterbacks and best coaches on the planet, Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, next up. And before you think, ooh, that's bad scheduling. No, you just got the team you should have beaten. You just got Anthony Richardson and the team that can't defend. Like, this was the game to get it right. This was the team. The Rams now are getting healthy. If you got the Rams in 3 weeks, you get dusted. You may have a shot this weekend because the O-line's still a bit of a mess and the wide receiving group is down to backups. But McVay and Stafford now, good luck.
Okay, so let's talk about this because, right, the 52 pass attempts, I have at the very top of my list. I mean, I have my notes, okay? I have Caleb 52 pass attempts and I have in all caps insane because it is. It's absolutely insanity. And the run game, it's just non-existent. 28 carries for 63 yards. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I agree largely with virtually every single thing that Colin is saying there. And I also then wrote too, I'm watching this whole game and I finish it and I go, because I'm taking notes throughout it. And I now the game's over and I think to myself, what was the game plan? Like what was the game plan? And I felt to myself, like, it felt like a glorified, like, let's just have Caleb do whatever. We want Caleb to start getting comfortable. We're just going to have him throw the ball a million times. We're just going to have him do whatever. We're not going to try to coach him. We're not going to try to have a game plan. We're just going to have him get out there and just play some football. You're thinking too much, Caleb. Let's go. Just get out there and do what we know you can do. That's what it felt like, honestly. And it was just like, what am I watching here? And I had watched also the day before Shedeur Sanders in college, and I'm like, there's too many similarities right now between this college football player and now this supposedly generational talent who's trying to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. There's too many similarities right now. One is still playing college and one is still playing college. And it's like, well, you're in the NFL now. We got to see more progress. And I'm not blaming Caleb, honestly. I'm really not. Caleb has not been perfect. Caleb Williams has 1,000% not been perfect. But I really do not know what the Bears are doing at this. And I made a video months ago questioning what Shane Waldron can do. And a lot of people got really angry about it. And I was actually influenced by a lot of the comments because I read all the comments. And people are saying, no, he's better than you think, better than you think, better than you think. And so I started being like, okay, fine. But I aired out my concerns, saying that what you do with Geno Smith is going to be a lot different than what you're going to be asked to do with Caleb Williams. And it's kind of showing right now. Now people are saying, oh, the GM needs to be fired. And people were so high. They were saying that he's the most amazing GM ever. Look what he's doing. And now they're saying, oh my God, he's awful. And it's been fascinating to see. Like, I'm curious. Before I kind of keep going, I want to ask the fans straight up right now, who do you think is to blame? Right? The construction of the team, the coaching, or the quarterback? Because I really want to know. Because it seems like Chicago Bears fans are really divided who to blame for all of this. I mean, Caleb can clearly throw a beautiful ball. And he moved better in the pocket. So I liked some of that progress. Right? I'm looking for progress. I'm trying to find, how are we moving forward here? That's all I'm really looking for in a rookie quarterback and in just a young developing team. How are you improving? But then it gets completely overshadowed by just like really bad decision making, really bad interceptions. I mean, he threw a perfect pass. Okay? That was an unbelievable pass. And I was like, textbook, amazing, let's go. And then, like, the next play, he throws an awful interception. After you throw that beautiful ball, you gotta dial up an easy layup. You gotta dial up a layup. You gotta dial up a 5-6 yard handoff. Especially when you're dealing with a young rookie quarterback who now throws the ball, I forget how many yards. I thought I wrote it down. 30 yards, whatever it was. A beautiful pass in the air, on a rope, just great. When you're dealing with a young quarterback like that, especially, things start to get kind of heightened. It's like, all right, I got this now. You start to like buy into what you can do, but in a negative way. You try to start to force balls where they shouldn't be. You got to keep it in rhythm. You got to find the easy rhythm and timing throws. You got to just manage everything. And that's where I'm just like, what is the game plan? Caleb makes one great throw, and now you're just going to say, okay, keep making those great throws. We're going to throw the ball 52 times. And yeah, you're going to turn the ball over when you throw 52 times. It's just what's going to happen. We got quarterbacks who are averaging 23, 24, 25 pass attempts and turning the ball over. You're going to take a rookie quarterback and double that. Yeah, he's going to have some bad throws. He's going to turn the ball over. That's what's going to happen when you're asking a young rookie quarterback in his third start to throw the ball 52 times. I mean, it's just crazy. And listen, I'll even give you the benefit of the doubt for the other interception, which I wrote down, was fluky. But at the same time, you're on your own 20 and you throw a 40-yard pass in double coverage. So yeah, it was kind of fluky how it bounced off and then they were able to kind of get that interception. But at the same time, you're flirting with the football gods at that point. Like, those are the things that happen. Right, that ball easily could have not been intercepted, but when you're throwing into double coverage like that in that type of situation, that's what's going to happen. There's a higher possibility of that happening. So it's just, he's still scrambling also in a way that will get him long term, even though he was successful in some of his scrambling attempts, which was impressive. The problem is that the rest of the fundamental football is not coming along. So if he had the fundamentals going forward and it was like really exciting and you're like, okay, he's getting it, things are going well, and then you scramble and do some of those things, you could say, all right, we're going to have to kind of clean some of that up. But the problem is that when you're not getting the fundamentals, not getting the layups, and you're just trying to get by on some of this athleticism, that is what I kind of find a little bit more problematic. Because we see some of those scrambles, we see some of those, evasive tendencies, which are great, and we start to be like, that's what that guy can do. Some people that overshadows all the other negatives. And again, the stats are going to be misleading. The Hail Mary, the end of play, the end of the game touchdown to like a wide open, I forget who it was, but he was wide open. I mean, look at what the Packers did against the Colts. Look what the Packers did against the Titans. It's just kind of crazy when you see what the Packers were able to do with Will Levis. Quite honestly, it's kind of surprising what Malik Willis. Did I say Will Levis? I mean Malik Willis. What Malik Willis has been able to do with the Green Bay Packers. It's been eye-opening of what you can do with just a average to good quarterback who's been struggling with a great coach. It just highlights the importance of coaching. And so no, you can't put all this blame on Caleb. You can't say, well, this is not Caleb's fault. I mean, it is. It absolutely is. So I'm struggling to grasp what was the plan with Caleb Williams to develop him. Because not only do the Chicago Bears need game plans to develop Caleb, but they need an overarching big picture plan of what are we going to do? How are we going to move forward? How are we going to continue to progress? And they're just not doing it. And I'm just not sure if they have the ability to do so. I mean, the Colts, Anthony Richardson threw 10 for 20, 2 interceptions, and a rating of like under 40, 39 rating, and yet they still won. Because I said, listen, I gave the caveat going into this game with the Bears, saying, listen, even if you lose this game, it's not the worst thing because you don't know what you're going to get out of Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson either plays like he's the greatest quarterback you've ever seen or he's awful. You got the awful. He had 2 interceptions that were insane. Insane. He threw into triple coverage into the end zone, just straight. It wasn't even triple coverage. It was just to the 3 defensive players. I mean, like, I don't know what he was doing. And then the other interception, he had someone wide open. And yet he somehow then threw it to the wide open defender. I couldn't even really make sense of it. And then they couldn't capitalize. I mean, there was the other time that I wrote down, it was 4th and goal, and they go for it rather than just kick the field goal. Kick the field goal. Get points. Get some momentum going. Kick the field goal. Kick the field goal. I'm going to say it one more time. Kick the field goal. What are you doing right now in this situation? You got to earn the right and earn the ability to be able to go for it on these fourth downs. You got to have the confidence in your team to be able to go for it on fourth downs like that. You didn't earn it. Nothing in the first few games earned that right to be able to say we can be aggressive in this situation. No, it's the opposite. You earned the right to be conservative. And you know what? A conservative game plan can win you games. Sorry, Chicago Bear fans. Look what the Packers did with Matt LaFleur and Malik Willis. So yeah, it's definitely a frustrating thing to see. This is obviously not going as planned, but I'm not going to sound the alarm. If you made it this far, I'm not going to say this is a disaster. I'm not going to say that Caleb Williams is a bust or the Chicago Bears are a disaster of run of an organization. Because the mark of a good organization, of a great organization and a top organization is how do you adapt now? You see, this is what's happening right now. 3 weeks. It's not too late to right the ship. What do you need to do? That's what I'm curious to see what they do now. Because yeah, people, and I've said this now in multiple Bears videos, people were talking about this schedule being easy. And now they were able to come away with that win with the Titans, although undeserving so. They lost to the Colts, obviously. Lost to the Texans. And now they got the Rams. The Rams just beat the 49ers. That is not a full-on winnable game. The Panthers with Andy Dalton, they're looking good right now. That's not an easy go for, easy win. You have the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, that's a question mark. Jay Daniels by week 8, he's been progressing. He's absolutely been progressing, without a doubt. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, that is not an easy team. They are significantly better than most people thought. The Patriots, I don't think are a great team, so that's definitely winnable. Packers are winning with Malik Willis. How do you think they're going to look with Jordan Love? Minnesota Vikings, Bears, we're saying the Vikings are nothing. Sam Darnold's the MVP right now. The Vikings are the best team in the NFL right now. They just are. They're playing the best. The Lions seem to have been able to bounce back from their slow start. The 49ers, they are a great team. Even if they're not winning, they are a great team. They are not some bad team. And the Seattle Seahawks continue their momentum. So this is shaping up to be brutal. Where are the easy wins? Where are the easy moments? You got to try to start building some momentum somehow. Or you punt this season and recognize, yeah, we're not really going to be fighting for the playoffs this year. This isn't about, Caleb Williams winning Rookie of the Year and proving to everyone that he is going to be the greatest quarterback ever. This is a growth year. This is a slightly different version of sitting your young rookie quarterback for the first year like they did with Mahomes. This is, yeah, we're just going to fool around here. We're just going to have some fun. Treat these games as just next level practices. It's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's just, we're just going to develop. Because, I just don't know what you do at this situation. And again, I'm not trying to sound the alarm. I'm not trying to say, oh, okay, this is danger zone. This is, because you could rip off 3 wins right now. You could beat the Rams, the Panthers, and the Jags. And that puts you at 4-2. And then you can take the win against the Cardinals or against the Commanders. Right? Like you can get some wins. And then if you right this ship and get some momentum going, and now you're feeling good. Now Caleb is in rhythm. Now the play calling is in rhythm. Now you established a run game. Now you can compete with the Packers, with the Vikings, with the Lions, with the 49ers. And then you can force your way into the playoffs. It's all possible. But at a minimum, you need to have a better game plan. You need to have a better approach to these games. At a minimum. I don't care about anything else that I just said. You got to have a better game plan. You got to have a better game plan. There's no other way to put it. I'm watching this game. I watched all these games, and I'm just like, what was the plan here? What are some of these decisions that they're making? I really encourage you guys, and I know you're not going to like it, and I've probably already angered enough Bears fans. Watch the Packers game. Watch what they did with Malik Willis. That's a game plan. That's a coach that trusts his team to make plays when need be. Just watch the highlights. You don't have to watch the whole game because I'm sure it'll be tough to see the Packers succeed. Just go to on YouTube to NFL's YouTube page and you'll see it. We got like 12, 13, 14-minute clips of the highlights. And you'll see what a game plan looks like. And you'll see, yeah, we don't have a game plan. Because you could have beaten the Colts. You absolutely could have. Heck, you had a chance to even beat the Texans. You could be 3-0 right now. That's what's crazy about football. You could be 3-0. The Chiefs could be 0-3 right now. But they're 3-0. The Eagles could be 3-0. But they're 2-1. And they could have been 1-2. The margin of error is so small. And if you're already going at it with a deficit of a lack of game plan and a rookie quarterback, it's brutal. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think the Chicago Bears organization as a whole is to blame, or do you think it's really all on Caleb Williams? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.